What happens when a film with a $100 million budget, the creative backing of Peter Jackson, and an iconic young adult novel as its source material crashes and burns at the box office? That's exactly what happened to Mortal Engines in 2018, a film that had all the makings of a blockbuster, but flopped harder than anyone could have predicted. But why did this ambitious project fail so spectacularly? In this review, we'll uncover the key reasons why Mortal Engines failed to capture the hearts of audiences or the attention of critics, turning into one of the biggest box office disasters of 2018. This movie had all the components for success: epic world building, a post-apocalyptic London on wheels, and a narrative filled with political intrigue. Yet it barely made a dent, grossing a mere $83 million globally against its massive production and marketing budget of about $150 million. Let's dive deeper to find out what went wrong. So what exactly went wrong with Mortal Engines? Let's start with its biggest strengths and failures. First off, the visuals. You can't talk about Mortal Engines without mentioning its breathtaking production design. The moving cities, particularly London, were brought to life in a grand, imaginative scale. You could feel the post-apocalyptic world that director Christian Rivers envisioned, dark, mechanical, and epic in scope. It was like Mad Max Fury Road, but with massive cities on wheels 58 source. The action sequences, especially the chase scenes, had the potential to be jaw-dropping. But potential isn't enough, is it? Now, let's dig into why it fell flat. One of the biggest issues with Mortal Engines was the storytelling. The movie threw audiences into a dense world filled with rules, characters, and backstory, but failed to effectively communicate any of it. The plot was cluttered with political drama and ancient histories that the audience had little time to process. It felt more like a history lesson than an engaging narrative. It's like trying to explain Game of Thrones to someone who's only seen one episode. It's too much, too fast. Except in this case, you're stuck in the theater for 2 hours. Another critical flaw was the lack of emotional depth. While the world looked cool, the characters didn't connect with audiences. Hester Shaw, the protagonist, had the potential to be a fascinating, flawed heroine, but the film's rushed pace and underdeveloped character arcs left her feeling two-dimensional. The emotional core of the film was buried under layers of CGI source. So, with all this talent and money behind the film, why did it bomb so badly? Was it really just the storytelling, or is there something deeper that doomed Mortal Engines to fail? Ultimately, Mortal Engines suffered from poor timing, a bloated script, and misguided marketing. Coming out during the holiday season, right between heavy hitters like Aquaman and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, was a death sentence. The young adult dystopian genre, once flourishing with films like The Hunger Games and Divergent, had largely fizzled out by 2018. And Mortal Engines wasn't compelling enough to reignite that interest 58 source. For all its visual grandeur, the movie's failure to connect emotionally and its confusing, overstuffed plot left audiences cold. And while it was a financial disaster, there's still something to be appreciated in the film's bold ambition. It dared to bring a world to life in a way we hadn't quite seen before. But sometimes, ambition alone just isn't enough. If you found this breakdown insightful and want to explore more box office flops, check out my video on why Superman 4: The Quest for Peace was a total disaster. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Hit that like button, subscribe for more critical reviews, and stick around for the end screen for more fascinating movie breakdowns.